What I would like to see from from Interreg perspective is that the EU and the powers that be, if you like, would also look at this as a huge opportunity for European shipyards, for example, to really boost their business. So, unfortunately, with the EU ETS and the Fuel EU Maritime, it starts at 5,000 GT ships and above. Most of those ships are built overseas, outside of Europe. However, the ships between 400 GT and 5,000 GT, many of those ships are built in European yards. So, one thing that we've been encouraging or pushing is for the limit of the vessels that get the benefit from the carbon reductions to benefit European-based production companies and installation facilities as well. If those policy areas were changed, this could have a really dramatic impact on European shipyards and manufacturing in the maritime technology sector as well. So there's further room for growth and further room to really grab this opportunity and make it work not just globally, which it is working globally and it's had that impact, but really embed that into revitalization of shipyards, maritime communities, and the R&D centers. But the European R&D and technology development is probably around 70% of all the projects, maybe a little higher, are coming from Europe collectively. Now, if we look at what are our goals, one is to make shipping green. Second is obviously the climate impact, and the third one is on the finance and job creation, etc. So if we look at the first one, the greening of shipping, this is a technology grouping that is available today. It can be rolled out without any further investment in infrastructure, really. We can install them and we can make the industry a lot greener immediately. The second point on climate, if you look at shipping, giving about 3% of global greenhouse gases are emitted from shipping. That's ignoring the indirect impacts. So just looking at that, wind propulsion, if it's optimized with wind routing, etc., can deliver about a third of that without too much trouble. That's 1% of global greenhouse gas emissions reduced simply by putting wind propulsion onto the vessel. And equally, it doesn't cost you anything because it pays for itself. So that is an incredibly powerful, as far as I'm concerned, incredibly powerful option to have on board. And Europe currently is the leader, although we're seeing major growth in other regions as well of interest in wind propulsion. And the final one is we're talking about tens of thousands of quality blue and white collar jobs. Many of these jobs would be generated in ports and maritime areas which have been underinvested in, have had opportunities reducing as the fossil fuel extraction industries reduce. This would be part of what would fill the gap.